Hello, everyone. This is a solo playthrough with me playing as the rebels against the Imperial Bot. Um, I'll switch to a different resolution, but this is the only one that will autofocus, and I want to kind of show off the design of the solo with the mission cards. So in the game, you're going to have these mission cards. These are the starting cards. You'll see on the top that they have um, this icon to represent it, and the Imperials have one as well. And what you'll see here is there's these multiple boxes, and so those are the rewards when you do the mission. This box right here is the requirement to do the mission. So the requirements don't change, but the rewards can change depending if you're playing competitive. That's the competitive icon. The solo icon is the player, or the bot when you're playing in the solo. So if the bot is playing the deck, it might be different because a lot of these missions you have to make decisions, and so everything is on these cards, which is nice. So for example, you gain loyalty on this card, but if you were the bot, you would gain loyalty, and it's telling you to prioritize the closest to a planet with Imperial units that have the most HP producing units, lowest sector, leftmost. So it kind of gives you how to break the ties. And in some cases, like this one, it's the same for all modes. Or in this one, you can see there's each mode has its own thing that it's going to do. Okay, so let's get started. Excuse me on that. Okay, so you won't be able to read the cards, so I'll be talking about what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be playing my cards face up. You normally would play mission cards face down, but against the bot, you don't have to make them face down, and you can see the cards and the pictures and everything. So, oops, let's get this set up. So I've chosen M as my starting, or as my hidden base. This is my rebel base. Let's put it on the hidden side. And I started randomly with F, and they started with H. And so this is the setup. You can see I got the H card out. So in this deck is going to be 4 remote planet cards. I have the 5th one right here. Once they've uncovered 4 of them, then my base gets revealed automatically, and then they're going to come try to destroy it. In this game, you have these leaders. Each side has 3. When a leader is captured, then you only have 2, and the Imperials are the only ones that can capture leaders. So, but you can always try to rescue your leaders, and maybe we'll see some of that in the gameplay. These are kind of like your workers or your action points. You got basically 3 things you can do in a turn. So let's get started. So the very first phase is planning phase, and we have our deck here, but we get to add a card. So we got coordinated strike. This is going to let us put a disrupt token and hurt them. So it's pretty good, actually. That is actually interesting. So we're going to try to do a 1-2 punch there. So, but so this is the bot deck. So they're going to get a shuffle, and then they get a card added as well. And I'm going to go over pretty quickly as I play, but all the decisions are just on these 2 pages for the bot. There's a golden rule of leftmost anytime there's ties, and like lowest sector usually. And so the sector numbers on the planets are on these top left. So this entire row is sector 1, 2, 3. And you'll hear terms between remote planet and production planet. A remote planet looks like this, and a production planet has units it can produce. So planning phase, I get to plan missions that I want to do. I want to do this coordinated strike, and I want to do this disrupt. And any of the missions that are the starting missions, they come back to my hand. So these are like your actions that you can do a lot of. And I'm going to actually use all my heroes here. So I'm going to put, so when doing a mission, you'll see that there's this color here, and each leader has attributes. And there's a mission attribute. So it requires this color to do the mission and to oppose the mission as well. And however many attributes you have on your leader, that's how many dice you're going to roll if it gets challenged or opposed. So because she has 2 yellow, I'm going to have her do the loyalty in case it gets opposed. So you just set the meeples on top of what you're going to do. Normally in a 2-player game, these would be face down. So your opponent won't know what your missions are because they get revealed one at a time. But in this case, I'm going to do this. Play everything face up. My hand will be here, and then this is my deck. All right, we're ready to go right into the operation phase. You don't do anything for the bot besides just adding their card at the beginning and shuffling. The bot has a very predetermined path. They may oppose our missions. Their very first turn, they're going to try to move if conditions are met, and then they're going to just repeatedly do missions until they run out of leaders. But the rebels go first, so I am going to actually do a loyalty here. And so the way that it works on the back of the tin is these values, which is a nice cheat sheet. It shows you in combat, these are the values that would cause a basic hit or a critical hit. Missions, you can see a 3, 4, 5 is a success, and a 6 is like 2 successes. So you add all of your successes up. And then the bot, if it challenges your mission, it's just a 50-50 chance. A 4, 5, or 6, and he will. Or it will, I guess. So we're going to roll. And 1, it's not going to challenge us, so we gain loyalty. When the rebels gain loyalty, they take the planet and they flip it to the red side. It is now loyal. Now, we've done one action. This goes back into our hand. It's the Imperial turn. So they look, the first thing they try to do is move, and they move with the leftmost leader. And their move says to pick the fleet that has the most units, which is going to be here. And this only has one spot it can move. They move orthogonally. So it's going to take the leader, and then they drag the units. They always leave one unit behind. And that was their move turn. Now, I knew they were going to do that, so I planned with my coordinated strike, although I'll probably do my disrupt first. So I'm going to do my disrupt right there. This is red, and my leaders are not very good at red, but the Imperial leaders are. So if they block me, they're going to have a better chance. They're going to roll more dice. So let's see if they challenge, if they oppose. 4, 5, or 6. They don't oppose. So we get a disrupt token. Looking good so far. Now it's their turn. They are going to do the top mission, and what you do is you keep flipping missions until it's, until it's ones that they can do. So this is one that they can do. This is the Obliterator, and in a two-player game, this would destroy a planet. This is the card, the mission that can do it. And these missions that don't have the icons, they're one-time use. They're very powerful, but then they get tossed. In the bot scenario, because it could be destroying a planet that is good for them, like there's very specific logic. And what they do is they get a probe card, it says on this card. And I'm only going to list the remote ones here that we care about, but it gets through that deck faster. And then we lose a loyalty. We only have one planet. Guess I should have done the loyalty at the end. So we lost our loyalty. Now it's our turn. Oh, and then this goes right here because it had to do it at the Star Fortress, which is their super capital ship. Okay, and then we have one last leader. We're going to do coordinated strike on our fleet because it requires to do it at a fleet. And then at an adjacent spot, it's going to lose a, it's going to add a disrupt token, excuse me. And then it's going to destroy a unit. So when the bot only has one, if they have more than one, they will try to oppose with the roll. But if they only have one, it's unopposed. So, and they're going to lose a unit. Now their final mission they're going to do. Well, that's no good. They are going to decree and so their decree, this is like the opposite of our disrupt. It removes disrupt tokens and loyalty, and they always prioritize disrupt. And the way that the bot works is it tries to find where it won't be opposed. So that's here. It will be opposed here. And then also whatever the card lets us know that the priority for breaking ties is going to be the most produced HP of units. So the capital ship is 3. So it's going to remove this, which is not good for us. We played the coordinated strike. It's a one-time use, so that's gone. This goes back in our hand. And the first turn of the operations phase is over. We go to the objective phase. And if we had objectives revealed, we see if we can score any of them. We can't. So we draw an objective. This one requires that 4 planets have loyalty. We have none right now. And then the Imperial player gets probe cards. We're doing pretty good on that. They haven't gotten any remote planets. Then all of the units all of the leaders come back. Doing this left-handed. Then we increment the time token. and it's landing on this space, which is a production phase. So we look for each side does it differently. The Imperials will produce based on the planets that they have units on, and it can't be disrupted with a disruption token. So they're not going to do this planet. This one, they make a capital at spot 2. And on this one, they're going to make 1 starfighter at spot 1. Our base is 1 starfighter at spot 1, and then we lost our loyalty, so that's it. Then everything slides down the queue, and anything that falls off we can deploy. So for them, they pick the lowest fleet. It's going to be that one. For us, we can only deploy onto a loyal or our base, so we're going to put it on our base. Next turn, we get a card. Uprising. Oh, that's interesting. That lets us do lets us destroy one of their starfighters and gain loyalties. So maybe we can get 2 loyalty this turn. And then their deck, they get a new card. We don't look at it, and we shuffle it, and we're good to go. Next turn. Okay. So I definitely think we should try to push for a lot of loyalty. And you know what? I'll leave 1 leader to kind of oppose any missions they have. Or maybe we'll do some combat and weaken their... Maybe we can try to... Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Okay. So we're first. I'm going to use this leader. Oh, wait, we got to assign leaders. I'm going to put her on that one. And our pilot has to do this one because our smuggler has no yellow. So our smuggler is going to be a first. We're going to take our fleet and we're going to attack. So I get to show combat. So right here on the side here, these are where you move the ships. So it's very fast. Starfighters have 1 life. We can't actually destroy the Star Fortress right now because we don't have secret plans, which is in the objective deck. So I'm just going to put it over here in the middle. All of these base cards, they show you the health of each of the units, so you just line it up on the spot, and it shows which dice they roll in combat. It's different for the Imperials and the Rebels. You can see here. 3 health, while we only have 2 in the Rebel capital starship, and then they get 3 dice and we only get 2. So they're stronger on the capital, but our starfighters are stronger because we get to pick which die to use. So R2, let's go over combat. It's really quick. You have at a maximum 6 dice you can throw. The black dice you can think are for starfighters, and the white dice are for capital ships. And the way it works in combat, and you can ignore the colors, but there's a basic hit and a critical hit. Basic hit lets you hit the starship type that is the color of the die. So on a 4 or 5, it'll hit with this dice, and you'll be able to kill starfighter. But on a 6, you could use this dice to target any starfighter or capital ship you want. Likewise, on the white dice, a 4 and a 5 would attack a capital ship, but a 6 could attack a starfighter. So with that, and we can only defeat starfighters, we're going to roll 2 black dice. So we want a 4, 5, or 6. We got 1 hit and 1 miss. So we take the 1 hit and we move theirs down to the 0. Now the defenders get to go. So at least we got some damage in. So just because we're the attackers, they still get to, basically you're attacking simultaneously, but there's only 6 dice allowed. So they have 2 black and 3 white from the Star Fortress. So this 6 is actually going to, so the way the bot works is it assigns basic hits first, but they didn't hit with their black. And then they hit a basic hit with the white, but we don't have any capital ships. So then they do their capital, or they do their critical hits, so they're going to do 1. Now there's been a wave of combat over, so we take anything that's at 0s and we toss it back in the supply, and combat keeps going until somebody loses all their units. And there's no retreating, there's no re-rolling, it's very fast. So for us, we just roll 1 die. I'm hoping for another hit. We didn't. They get all these. They didn't get a hit. Our turn again. 1 die. We got a hit. And then it doesn't really matter what they roll. They did get a hit, but if they didn't get a hit, we can't destroy this, so we just have to automatically lose our guy. But we were able to take out 2 of their starfighters. So this guy goes back here. And that was combat. Now we've slowed down their fleet because they're not going to move this one. They're only going to move that one. This one's closer to our M that we care about. Whew. Okay, that was our first action this turn. They always try to move as their first action, and they always use their leftmost. And this is their largest fleet. So now we get to look at some movement logic for the Imperials. They try to move only if they have less than 4 sector planets. They have 2 right now with units on them. And they look at wherever their target is, and then if that target has more spots to move. So this one right here has another spot to move. This one here has another spot to move. This one does not. It has no spots that it can move. Well, it's actually going to look at this fleet only. So it's going to look at these 3 because this is the largest fleet. It always moves the largest. So here has 1, 0, and that has 1 as well. And it's always going to try to stay at the lowest sector first. So it's going to move here, and it always leaves 1 unit behind. Okay, back to our turn. We're going to try to do loyalty. We're going to do it here. So now we see if they're going to oppose us. 4, 5, or 6, they do. They will oppose us. They grab the one with the most matching attributes, and ours is yellow. So this is they have 1 yellow in this guy. So right here. So we each have 1. I'll count the black dice. They'll be the white dice. And in doing missions, 3 counts. So 3, 4, 5 is success, and a 6 is a double success. So they got a success, and we didn't. So we did not successfully do the mission. So this goes back in our hand. And now finally, they'll do a mission. So this is shuffled, and they do a direct order. Okay. So direct order, they have a capital ship with a leader. So they target here. We can't oppose it because we have no leaders. This goes back to their board. This is kind of a way for them to move twice, and then they're going to move here. So they've actually spread out to the 4 planets. They're pretty spread out, but now they won't move anymore because they have 4 sector planets. So again, when doing these, you have to meet the requirement, and they have to be able to do the reward as well. And this was not a basic mission, so it's gone. And then finally, we're going to do Uprising. And I think we're going to do it here. And they can't oppose it because they only have 1 leader, or they won't oppose it. So the Uprising is successful. And what happens is they actually lose a unit and becomes loyal. That's going to help us out. This is a one-time mission, though. They have 1 more mission left. So, looking at their deck. Oh, okay. They will try to decree this. So even though we're here and we're opposing it, we don't match the yellow attribute because we have our smuggler who doesn't have any. So it's going to be unopposed, and they're going to remove the disruption. And this goes back in their hand. Okay, objective phase. We did not complete this objective, so they get a probe card. Well, they always get a probe card. And then we get a new objective card. We need 3 disruption tokens for that. Now everything goes back. And we increment this. It's not a production phase, but this slides off, and they will put it on the lowest sector planet, leftmost, with a unit. So it's going to go there. Okay. New turn. We get a new card. Resistance. If they have a lot of troops on our loyal planets, we can destroy them. They get a card that I'm adding to the deck. Definitely going to try and get some loyal planets because it's a build turn next. So you got to kind of keep an eye on that. So let's do all 3 of these. We're going to do loyalty. We're going to do information. There's a new one. And disrupt. So we're going to try disrupt first. Let's go here. No, let's go here. I'll make sure they don't get their capitals. Let's see if they oppose. They do not oppose. It is disrupted. They will move. Oh, yeah, they will move. They move here, actually. Okay. Let's do information here. Oh, no, let's do it here. They have a leader there that can oppose us. So blue, will they oppose us? They will. This is their blue leader. So we have 2 blue, they have 1. So I'm going to roll black for us, white for them. Oh no. Okay, so we have 1 success and they have 1 success. So when it's a tie, the attackers, which is us, or like the people that are doing the mission, need to have more. So we actually failed at our information. Okay, which means that they have a mission they do, which is the recon mission, which is the remote planet that is in the lowest sector. Or, sorry, planet without any units, which is that one. And then they get a probe card. Well, we're doing pretty good. They haven't gotten any of the remote probes. Loyal, they're not. We can pick really any planet we want. We're going to pick this one because they have nobody to oppose us. Okay. Objective phase, we did not. We only have 2 loyalty and we have 1 disruption. So we don't score any of those. They get a probe card. We get an objective card. That's an ambush. If we initiate a battle against a capital ship and destroy it, we will get a objective token. This is the objective token. Every time we get an objective done, we slide it up. I think I did not mention that. Okay, refresh phase. Increment, production phase. Start with the Imperials. They get 1, 2. They get 2 cubes at 1. Then they get 2 here. Then they get a capital, which they are already maxed out on. So these slide off. These slide down. Oh, and for us, we have 1. We have 3 at the number 2 spot. And then our base gives us 1. And, oh, wait, we have 2 at the number 2 spot. 1 and 1 with our base here. So these slide off. So these are going to go here and here. And then this is going to go... you know what? We could... let's put them on our base right now. Okay. Now, new turn, planning phase. We start with a new sneak attack. We can send 4 starfighters from our hidden base straight to their star fortress if we had the plans. Maybe we'll try to get the plans. Then they get a card. Okay, our missions. Let's definitely try to get loyalty and let's just do those 2 and we'll leave a leader to try to stop whatever they're trying to do. So loyal, and we'll have our smuggler do the disrupt. Let's try our loyal first. Let's go here. Will they oppose us? 4, 5, 6. They will. They'll use this one. We get to roll 2. Ooh, we got these crits, so we definitely do it. They will not move a fleet because they have 4 sectors, so they will do a mission. So they can't do this mission because we're not captured, so we just keep going. Well, they have a capture, and no one to capture, no valid targets. So we have to be at where they have units. They skip this one. Orbital production. Ooh, this is going to get them back. Let's try to stop it. You know what? No, I want to try to stop the decree. So I'm going to let them have this one. So I can do it at a planet with Imperial units. And so they'll always pick the lowest left sector if it's a tie. And they're going to get 3 units. 3 starfighters. So they're gonna get a lot of troops. This is a one-time use. And then our last one is going to be a disrupt. We're going to do it here because this one's building a lot. They can't oppose it. Let's go back in my hand. They have, oh, they did recon. Well, we'll try to stop the recon. So they're going to do it here. We both have 1 blue, so I'll be black, they'll be white. And I stop it because 3 is a success and so is 4. And they are trying to, so at least I stopped at recon, that's good. Okay, end of turn, only 3 loyal planets, so this is not, and we only have 2, not 3, and we didn't ambush. So they get a probe, they get their first remote, we get a, did we not do, guess I didn't do the information one. So if we can get a unit, this one is a critical blow, we have to have units on their base. It's pretty tough to do, but because it's just slow to move fleets and stuff. Okay, refresh phase. Let's get our guys back. This slides down. So these move down, these move down, these move down. These came off. This is going to get 1, and this is going to get 1. Normally you can't build where there's a disrupt token, but in the bot they can. They ignore those rules. And you can only put 2 down on a planet. You know what, maybe we'll try to go into the Imperium. So we have this as loyal. So we'll move, we'll put 2 there. See if we can make our way in. Okay. We haven't done any objectives yet though. All right, new turn, we get a new card. A rescue. Finally, we got a rescue in case they capture us. And they get a card. Okay, we are going to loyal it up. For sure, we're very close to getting that. And we're very close to getting disrupt as well. Let's try to go for those 2. And then we'll do our, I'll do a move. So I'm going to move first. We're going to have combat, so I'm going to move these in. 1 R2 starfighters fire first. No hits. Then they fire. No hit. We fire. Then they fire. They do take 1 of us out, so we have 1 unit. I should mention that the Imperials can only move with their capital ships, and the Rebels can move with starfighters because they only have 1 capital ship. All right, they will move. They will move here. Because this doesn't have Imperial units, so it counts as like a potential move where this one wouldn't. Let's do loyalty, and will they oppose us? 4, oops, that isn't 4, 5, or 6. They will oppose. I have 2, they have 1, I'll be black. Off camera, I had a 4, so I got 2 successes. It is successful. They do a mission. Reinforcements, I can't stop it. They get a probe card. They get their second remote one. And then I'm going to add a disrupt token here. And did I use their for the reinforcements? No, I didn't. The reinforcements should have used this here. So they don't do another one. Okay, we do actually have this objective and this objective done. So we're going to score these 2 objectives, which is pretty awesome. And they are, well, I guess we do this in order. So then I get a probe card. Excellent. and then they get, we get all of our stuff back. Now this moves forward. Produce first, so they have 1 and a capital, so they're going to put 1 here, and if they can't build a capital, we don't get this one because they have units on it, but we get 1, 2 here. So theirs is going to slide off. They're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then we get 2, so I'll put it at the base. So new turn, they get a mission. We get slow production. Could have used that. Another turn. So we did pretty good with our loyalties and keeping their forces pretty low, which made them move around a lot. Once they stop moving, they do a lot more missions. Should have had this back. We never got an objective. Ooh, secret plans. You know, we could try to end it at the... We can do a Star Fortress run, as we have sneak attack. So let's try to do that. And then, yeah, we'll leave our stuff open to try to counter them. So we will have our leader do it. So we're first, sneak attack is here, and it can bring up to 4 ships. So we enter combat, and what the secret plans lets us do is after each wave of combat, we get to try to destroy the Star Fortress by rolling a 5 or 6. Oops. But we have to survive. So we're first, let's try to destroy those starfighters. Now we have 4 ships, so I'm gonna put 1 as white. The white actually got us a critical hit, and the 4 is another hit. So we destroyed those 2 ties. Now they get, this is their makeup. They have 2 starfighters. Ooh, okay, so they got 1 hit on us there, and that's it. So these are gone. And then I roll 5 or 6, and it's destroyed. Okay, next round. Now, there's no starfighters for us to fight, so now it's just they're just going to keep rolling these 3. And then we're going to roll 1. And they're going to roll 3. Ooh, they're picking us off. Then we're going to roll 1. They're going to roll 3. They picked another one off. Uh-oh, not looking good. We got to roll 1. We did it. Whew. We destroyed the Star Fortress, which means that this tells you which phase you have to reveal this that's the ambush, secret plans, battle phase. In a 2-player game, you would reveal it then, right? You have to have the plans, or you can't do it. But we'll score it in the objective phase. So this is pretty much gonna be the last turn then. This game went pretty well for us. Usually it's I'm not this lucky with the remote cards, like remote planets. Okay, so they will move a fleet, actually. This is their largest fleet. It's close to M. There we go. We pass because we don't have any other missions to do, so they will do their mission. Decree will be this guy on here. This has the most they have a unit and it produces the most units. We'll try to stop him. We each have 1. I'll be the black die. We both failed, but they need at least 1 success, so they don't remove it. And their final mission. Skip that one. Oh no. Oh no, this is a new card they got. Okay, well, I didn't think about this. Imperial Strength. They played this at Imperium. Oh, they don't have a yellow guy. They don't have a yellow attribute to play it. Okay, what this normally would do is it would slide our objective token back. Okay, we're okay. They will recon here. And they draw a probe, and they get the third remote planet. They just needed one more. And then it goes to the objective phase. We are going to score our secret plans. And then I'm not going to do everything else because they're going to move it. And now these are touching. The game is over. And we have won because they did not get our base. Let's look at the probe deck. The next card was a remote. Second that they draw it, it immediately reveals our base. And then they actually enter a different set of actions that they'll do on their turn. Basically, every single leader will move the fleet, and the fleet no longer have the penalty where they can't move. And this is true in the two-player game as well. Once the base is revealed, you can move a fleet that already has a leader, so you can just make it your way straight to the planet. In the bot's case, they will pick their best leader to oppose every mission you do without even using the leader. So if it was revealed and I'm still trying to do missions, they will pick, if it was red, they're going to use 2 red, and they're going to always oppose it without even having to use the leader. So it gets really tense at the end game. So I just want to talk about the Imperial play. I don't have a playthrough, but I want to discuss when you're playing as the Imperials and there's a Rebel bot. So what will happen, what you'll do is you'll take these 5 remote planets, you're going to shuffle them up, and then you're going to take one to be the hidden base, and then 2 of them will be decoy probes. And then you're going to take these two remote ones, and you're going to shuffle them into the main deck. Like this. And so what you're going to have to do as the Imperials is the base doesn't reveal until you have all 4. So 2 of them are in this probe deck, and 2 are the decoy probes. And the only way to uncover the decoy probes is these 2 cards, which they had one of them of. I'm trying to find it. There we go. So you can see here that when you're playing the solo mode, these 2 cards let you gain a decoy probe. And they basically interrogate and tracking beacon. So they work on a captured leader. So you're going to have to focus on capturing their leaders and then interrogating them twice, basically. But you'll need to get these cards, and you might not have them. So the card that I kept skipping, this Discover card, you can see here, this is the only time you ever get to draw more mission cards, is when you're in solo play, not in a competitive game. This is the card that's used to reveal bases in the competitive game. In the solo game, it lets you draw missions so that you can try to get those missions if you don't have them to interrogate. And you can see here the bot, it just skips it. It says perform a new bot mission using this leader. So it's just a way to, you could actually just take this card out for when you're with the bot, but I find it's easier to shuffle with a little bit more cards. And so that is how you would play. That's how you would set up for the Rebel bot. So if you uncover these 2 with the decoy and you find the other 2, it does reveal the base, and then you can try to go kill it. But you can also use the Obliterator card. So if you know maybe you've narrowed it down to 2 remote planets, you can go to one of them and blow it up. And at the end of the game, if the rebels win like this, you then check the probe card that would be attached to the hidden base. And if that was the planet you blew up, you actually get to win. So there is a guess, but you also need to have this card. So like I said, in our game, you typically go through the deck, but there's usually about 2 or 3 cards you don't get. And that's about a normal length of a game that we played, typically. Although sometimes the Imperials will come out to about here if they're doing really well. And that was just a sample game, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks, everyone.